Today, I want to share information on disturbing aspects of Project 2025. Our media team has created this simple packet that will give you information about Project 2025 you can pick up immediately following the worship service today. What is Project 2025? Project 2025 is a conservative plan to restructure democracy and the United States government, organized by the conservative think tank, the Heritage Foundation. The research found in, and what I'm going to lift up, comes from Vox News, that's V-O-X, not F-O-X, V-O-X, Vox News, and CNN. Project 2025, 4 bullet points here, will create a quote-unquote strongman presidency, replace 2.2 million federal employees with loyalists, restrict sexual and reproductive health and rights, and deploy military against Americans under the Insurrection Act. Here are some specific elements found in the over 700-page document known as Project 2025. This particular agenda that will be enacted based upon what has been lifted up here. And so I'm going to give you page numbers. If you want to look through the document on yourself, download it online. Page 319 speaks about the elimination of the Department of Education. And I give you a quote from the document. Federal education policy should be limited, and ultimately, the Federal Department of Education should be eliminated. On page 343, it speaks of eliminating critical race theory in grades K through 12. For those who are not familiar, critical race theory is not taught in K through 12. It is a theory, a legal theory that's taught in law school that was lifted up by Kimberly Crenshaw and Derek Bell. But nonetheless, they say that quote unquote, lawmakers should design legislation that prevents critical race theory from spreading discriminations. School officials should not require students or teachers to believe that individuals are guilty or responsible for actions of others based on race or ethnicity. This idea was implemented in the state of Florida, where they then began to remove and ban books written by Black authors. On page 554 in this document, it speaks of enforcing the death penalty. Enforce the death penalty where appropriate and applicable. The next conservative administration should therefore do everything possible to obtain finality for the 44 prisoners currently on federal death row. It should also pursue the death penalty for applicable crimes, particularly heinous crimes involving violence and sexual abuse of children, until Congress says otherwise through legislation. Of the 44 people on federal death row, the majority of them are people of African descent. And we now know more and more that many people who are on death row are innocent. We possibly executed an innocent person by the name of Marcellus Williams in Missouri, even though DNA evidence clearly indicated that he did not commit the crime. Page 337. End loan forgiveness. The Secretary should phase out all existing IDR, income-driven repayment plans, by making new loans, including consolidation loans, ineligible. There should be no loan forgiveness. You can consolidate your loans, but they will not forgive your loans. So for those of you who took out a loan for college, you're going to pay some more money. Page 337. Page 583, end equal employment opportunity. The next administration should work with Congress to amend the Title VII to prohibit the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission from collection of EEO-1 data and any other racial classification in employment for both private and public workspaces. The Equal Opportunity Employment Commission is the group in the government where if you are discriminated against a government agency or any institution, they're the ones who investigate discrimination. They want to get rid of this. On page 465, end Obamacare. Repeal harmful health policies enacted under the Biden administration and the Obama administration, such as the Medicare Shared Savings Programs and Inflation Reduction Act. You can read more in this information. Just gives you information in reference to what the Heritage Foundation put forth and what they hope to put in place. It also gives you information about voter suppression, where you can learn more information about how voter suppression is being implemented in different states all across the United States, specifically targeted at Black and brown people. It is very interesting that the only group of people that is ever told not to vote, it is always Black folk. You never hear they go to the rural areas of America and say, you shouldn't vote, your vote doesn't matter. It's only with Black people that we are told not to vote. There is a fear of Black voting power. The KKK was formed to stop Black people from voting. The White Citizens Council were formed to stop Black people from voting. We have some gifts that we have to utilize. And in the words of Sean Connery from The Untouchables, there endeth the lesson.